on this episode of MythBusters.
This is just wrong.
This is terrifying.
Come on, TV! The team feels the fear and doubles the danger for two crazy commercial myths.
I'm gonna need some psychotherapy after this.
First, Adam and Jamie are at the end of their tethers.
Are you kidding? This is a hobby? Holy
Testing if you could bob for an apple
He did it!
in the midst of a 100-foot bungee jump.
What did I get myself into?
Then Carrie, Tori, and Grant get some serious air, taking on an ad that serves up sky-high sport. But can you play tennis
This is scary. I'm not gonna lie.
on the wing of a plane in flight? Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
I got the chicken.
and Jamie Heineman.
I'm ready.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience, together with Grant Imahara,
Start the car.
Carrie Byron, and Tori Bellacci.
Let's chop this car up.
They don't just tell the myths,
Bye-bye.
they put them to the test.
There's a commercial out there that shows a guy bungee jumping off of a platform 100 feet into a little barrel full of apples. And when he comes up, he's got an apple in his teeth.
I see a lot of bungee jumping in our future.
Yep, because when the crazy commercial in question aired, it took the harmless age-old act of apple bobbing and added a frightening 100-foot fall. But can you really get the drop on a bungee apple bob and pull it off injury-free? Well, with Jamie's famous fear of heights,
That really is quite hairy.
this could be his worst nightmare.
That is absolutely awful.
To my mind, there's three things we got to investigate in this. One is, can your depth of your drop of bungee jumping be made precise enough so that when you hit the water, you don't hit the bottom and kill yourself? Two, can you actually aim where you fall in bungee jumping to hit a target as small as a barrel? And three, if all of that works, can you actually come up with an apple in your teeth?
And we have to do all this.
I was thinking that we could start out with Buster doing it.
Well, better Buster than me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So to test this bungee bob, it's off to Cunningham Pool in Vallejo, California.
To conduct this experiment, we're going to need a few key ingredients. First and foremost are apples and a barrel to put them in. We've chosen a fairly large one. A crane to do our dropping from. And a bungee basket. It is from this platform 100 feet in the air that all of our bungee drops will happen from.
But before the MythBusters start jumping, firstly, they're bringing in a fall guy.
In this case, where we need to drop Buster from a bungee cord, Buster here is not going to work. This is a crash test dummy, and he's all crumply, and he falls like a human quite delightfully. But for our needs today, we need a Buster who can stand on his own, a rigid Buster who weighs as much as we do, but can actually stand up so he can drop consistently.
And so meet Buster's latest incarnation, Bungee Buster. He's made out of PVC plumbing parts that'll be all glued together and filled with sand and water to achieve the correct weight. He'll serve as our analog for our initial testing.
You too can make your own Buster for $110 worth of plumbing parts.
Actually, about 230.
Now that Buster is rigid enough to hold the correct fall posture,
Okay. With the harness in hand, that's about 196.
That's our target weight for everything.
he'll need to weigh exactly what Jamie does.
And there we go. We're right at 195. Everything's going just as planned.
So with their fall guy complete, it's time to test part one of this myth.
Excellent.
Can our bungee experts tune Buster's fall so that when he hits the water, he won't hit the bottom of the barrel?
If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say Jamie's in the basket now, probably complaining about the height. He doesn't like them.
Oh, man. I hate heights. This is terrifying.
In 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
That was beautiful. A perfect touch.
With a maximum depth of just 18 inches, that was a perfect drop for a bob. The question is it always that easy?
I'm up about 100 feet in the air, and watching Buster just makes me wonder why anybody would want to do this. It's terrifying. Why do people like doing things that get them terrified? I don't understand it. It's crazy. In 3, 2, 1.
Come on, baby. Oh, that was perfect. Yeah. Fantastic. 2 in a row, absolutely the same. We've got our mark. Buster did really, really well, and our bungee experts really can dial him in so that he drops to the same spot every single time. I really think it's time for us to jump, and by us I mean you first. Don't get me wrong, when I do it, I'm gonna hate it just as much.
So now that Buster has proven that the depth is repeatable and safe, it's time to try it with a much more human analog.
Through there.
Do you ever have people barf when they're at the very end because of all the food in their stomach just wants to come straight back out?
Just about everything.
Well, I guess this is the whole rig. I'm all trussed up like a pig and ready to go to slaughter. Or something like that. We're gonna just see what it's like first, and if I don't freak out entirely on the first one, then I'll try to improve my accuracy on successive attempts.
This is one ride the beret can't come on, and Jamie has the long trip to 100 feet to contemplate what he's about to do.
I realized that there's only a small window. It's like the second of release, and then it's sort of like, what are you gonna do? I'm very familiar with that feeling.
How you feeling?
As good as I'll ever feel.
That's all we can ask, right?
Yeah, this is just one thing to do.
Really? Now you want to kind of stiffen that chest out a little bit. There you go. Hands behind you, and I got you.
Okay.
So when you're ready, there you go. Just put your hands on your butt.
This is just wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna have you lean out just a little bit, and then we'll go into the countdown. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have you lean out. Go ahead, I got you. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Next, the team is on the ball for a high-flying stunt.
So like Adam and Jamie's myth, our next myth is also about flying, but it's flying with a twist. See, a top-ranked tennis pro plays a match with his wingman.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. I've seen this video. It's where they're playing tennis on the wing of a plane while it's in flight.
Right, and they're both strapped to the wings. The plane takes off, and then they start volleying the ball back and forth, despite how fast the plane is going.
This commercial elevates the game of tennis to 5,000 feet as Novak Djokovic and his partner rally across a wing. But is this just an advertising flight of fancy, or could you really play a high-altitude Grand Slam?
Okay, so what this myth really boils down to is, can you actually have a tennis rally on the wing of a plane in flight with winds rushing past you at 35 miles an hour?
Wait, why only 35 miles an hour?
Well, I did a little research, and it turns out the plane in the clip is an Antonov AN-2, which is capable of flying at speeds as low as 35.
Wow.
All we need to do now is learn how to wing walk. I mean, you guys played tennis before, right?
No.
Looks like this one just got a little harder.
Tennis lessons?
So before takeoff, first things first, they've got to get the team match ready.
So we've come to UC Berkeley to get a couple tennis lessons from their head coach, Peter Wright, because let's face it, just because you put us in these outfits does not mean we know how to play at all. We are seriously going to need some help here.
Hey, Peter, thanks for helping us out. Now, we really need tips for volleying.
Sure. I mean, the first thing we're going to do is work on your grip and get a grip you can use for both the forehand and backhand side. Second thing, we're going to keep these balls out in front of you so you don't have to move to the side. Especially in the wind, it's going to be a challenge to keep the balls out in front.
I think you got your work cut out for you today.
All right, here we go.
Did anybody tell him this is my first time on a court ever?
Well, Carrie and Grant may be tennis first-timers,
Okay, remember, firm wrist, out in front a little bit. Firm wrist, out in front. Good, good, there we go. This is it. Yeah.
and Tori hasn't played since high school.
Tori's a natural. Look at this guy. Good, out there in front, nice and firm in the wrist. Beautiful.
But with a little expert guidance from their coach,
Hey, we're not sucking as bad as I thought we were gonna.
Okay.
they soon get into the swing.
This is no problem. Who's that Djokovic guy?
We're able to volley consistently, but unfortunately, that's not the whole story, because this tennis match happens on the wing of a plane in flight. It's a calm, clear day, and we're volleying fine, but that is more like volleying in a storm. Instant storm.
All right, so this is how it's gonna work. We have our fans over here that are gonna simulate our headwind. We're gonna start at 15 miles an hour and then amp it up. You guys ready?
Do it.
At 15 miles per hour, it's clear that the wind is affecting the trajectory of the ball.
I can definitely see the ball floating a little bit. It's weird.
But by adjusting their technique, they're still volleying consistently. However, can they keep it up at the flight speed of 35 miles per hour?
Bring it up to 35!
It's when the wind machine goes to 35 miles an hour where it gets interesting. And the ball no longer travels in a straight line. Sometimes it does a corkscrew. Sometimes it just drops.
This is much harder at airspeed! Ah!
But after a little bit of adjustment, by turning my back to the wind and aiming my racket upwind, I find that I can get a pretty decent volley going. So yes, it's difficult, very difficult, but not impossible.
The team was able to volley in winds of 35 miles per hour, which means this myth is cleared for takeoff.
Now all we have to do is learn to wing walk. That should be a piece of cake.
All right, so we have a very tough decision to make. Who's gonna be on the wing? Because as we know, there's only room for two.
Okay, I'm not that great at tennis, but I'm the least scared of heights. You're the best at tennis, but you're the most scared of heights. That makes him neutral, so I think Grant should be on the wing.
All right.
Okay, but that leaves the two of you. Clearly, there's no real fair way to do this. In fact, the most fair way is to Rochambeau. How about that?
Okay?
How about we wrestle for it?
No.
All right.
Ready? Rochambeau.
Ah, looks like I'm on the wing. Wait a minute, that's a little terrifying.
Jamie Heineman hates heights.
I hate heights.
Jamie Heineman doesn't understand extreme sports.
Why do people like doing things that get them terrified?
But to test the myth that you could apple bob from the end of a bungee cord,
This is just wrong.
Jamie Heineman is about to take a giant leap from 100 feet.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice! Excellent form, Jamie.
That's just one of the most things that I've ever done. You're upside down, you're accelerating like, and it's just, ugh. Did you hear the, like, let's do it again. Let's get it over with.
Calibrating the bungee for Jamie unfortunately involves a bit of trial and error.
Here we go again.
And after that error, he's got to repeat the trial to dial in his depth.
I'm gonna need some psychotherapy after this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's more like it. Like Buster, Jamie was dunked just enough to survive a vertical apple bob.
that a refreshing splash there, Jamie?
I was a little bit more conscious of what was actually happening. I saw the water coming up.
Yeah. It didn't hurt to hit it, though.
No, it didn't hurt to hit it at all. That's just awful.
So now that they've wet the Heineman's head, the next mythical metric is accuracy.
Because Jamie's so goal-oriented, it's time to give him a target in the water, and that's where this comes in. I'm going to place this out with 3 lines, holding it to anchors on the bottom of the pool so it doesn't move. How is that for position?
Good, perfect.
That's good? Okay.
This time around, it's going to be target practice.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You hit it!
Despite the fact Jamie had very little control over his fall, he still dunked his dome inside the stand-in barrel.
Excuse me. Your nose is kind of like a bucket. You go down and get water and you pull back up. It goes right in your throat. I saw the ring coming up. I think I hit it pretty well right in the middle, and I guess I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
And because Adam was the apple bobbing champion of his school,
Now they should stay on.
The next step is Adam making the jump.
It's 196.
Perfect.
That's it?
That's our number.
Beautiful. Let's suit me up.
once he's weighted the same as Jamie and Buster before him, Adam takes up the harness.
To say that my normally jocular nature is somewhat tempered by what's about to happen. I can't see what's going to go wrong, but I know it's going to be scary. Falling through the air, never, ever not scary.
Yep, at a vertigo-inducing height of 100 feet, it's clear this isn't Adam's idea of sport.
Are you kidding? This is a hobby? Holy
Here we go. Want to lean you forward?
Okay, wait. All right, lean me forward. You got me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
I'd like to go home now. Once he lets go, there's this period before the bungee starts to pull where you're just like, wow, I'm falling, which lasts like, I don't even get to complete the sentence.
Yeah.
And then I can feel the bungee tugging, and that feels great.
1.
That's great news for the myth, because despite it being his first try,
My face hit the middle of the barrel. Doesn't get any sweeter than that. Oh man, if I never do that again, it's way too soon. Yeah, you're just gonna have to bleep it, because that's real.
well, now that they've got the depth and accuracy sorted, how do they like them apples? After a spot of turbulent tennis, it's time to take to the skies. Or is it?
All right, bad news. Well, good news for me because I'm scared of heights. The insurers think that us wing walking is going to be too dangerous. We're not allowed to go up in a plane.
Seriously, how are we going to test this myth?
Okay, I got a substitute. How about we build a wing out of a platform? We affix it to the back of a truck and drive it down the runway at Alameda.
It's a really good idea. I mean, essentially, this myth is about the ball's behavior in a headwind, right?
I love it. A low-flying plane that doesn't get off the ground. Now we're just going to have a successful volley.
That might be harder.
So to find out if you can play tennis at altitude, the team is going to have to bring this myth a lot closer to the ground. And for that, Grant has a plan.
Instead of this, let me propose this. Take a big, heavy truck. We build a wing on top of that truck. We drive it down the runway at aircraft speeds. We simulate all the conditions of airflow over the top of this wing, and we set it up so that 2 people can be on. So that way, we simulate everything that we need to test this myth, except for flight.
But building a plane on the back of a truck is not something you can wing.
Okay, so that makes total both.
And with the safety of the MythBusters at stake, Grant is dotting his I's and crossing his T-beams. And his final design has a 40-foot wing and a 15-foot tower, along with a network of supports that'll keep this fixed wing firmly in place on the back of the truck.
It's the beginning, at least. We're flying in no time. Every time we do a big build on the show, we think, this is the biggest thing we're ever gonna build. We did the bamboo ultralight, which was big. And more recently, the earthquake shake table, which was huge. The 6.0, the awesome shell! But this thing, it's gonna top both of them. By the end, it's gonna have a 40-foot wingspan. Potentially, we'll be 15 to 20 feet off the ground. This now is gonna be the biggest thing we've ever built.
The first part of Grant's mammoth design is the two 20-foot wings.
Well, you'll notice that they are not an airfoil like an actual airplane because we're not trying to create lift here. They need to be stable structures for our players to stand on. This thing's going down the runway fast. So this is a lot more sturdy than something you might find in an airplane. I mean, I'm not trying to fly this thing. I'm trying to play tennis on it.
You probably just want to wing this paint job, huh?
So now that we've built our wing and we've got the measurements of the actual truck we're gonna use, it's time to build the thing that connects the two, which I call the tower. That's quite a thing. It's got a lot of cross members and supports. But without all those things, the people on the wing would be flapping up and down several inches, making it not only very dangerous, but also damn near impossible to play tennis.
The tower and supports are super heavy duty to brace the wing.
It's a good thing this thing doesn't have to fly.
And finally, after 3 days of cutting, welding, and triangulating, they're ready to assemble their flightless flying machine.
This ought to do.
Oh my God, this is perfect. So we've outgrown the shop. Our build was just too big. The wings were too wide, and we couldn't build it there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get it out the door, over the bridge, and through the tunnel to the runway.
Let's build a plane.
So we came out here to an actual hangar, which is perfect because we're making an airplane. And the best part is, behind those giant doors is our runway.
And it's not just the pieces of Grant's flat pack design they're unloading.
It's like a giant erector set.
The tail end of their ground-bound plane has also arrived.
All right.
Well, that's landing.
It's the Red Byron. How about that? Eh?
Red Baron, Red Byron.
So all of our pieces have been unloaded, and now it's time for assembly. We're welding together the two wing halves to give us a 40-foot wingspan.
Nicely lined.
Next, we're welding this tower onto the wings and adding extra supports that'll give us another 8 feet of height. And after we're done with that, we flip it all over and put it on top of this big-ass truck.
This doesn't look dangerous at all.
At 15 feet off the ground, the guys may not technically be flying, but they may as well be.
Oh, this just doesn't seem like a good idea anymore.
Dude, all I know is I think I won Rochambeau. I did not lose because this is terrifying. This is so high off the ground. If this thing flexes at all, one of them is wetting their pants.
And with 40,000 pounds of steel in place, the guys welded to the truck bed.
I would have to say, out of all the welds on this thing, these are probably the most important.
Yeah!
There you go, like a glove. Perfect. Just like we planned it.
All right, so our makeshift airplane is finally complete. We've got a 40-foot wingspan that is supported by about 4,000 pounds of steel and cabling. It should be very sturdy. We have our safety rigs in place so the boys will be safe. We have an anemometer strapped up there so that we can get precision wind speeds. It's completely supported by a turbo diesel tow truck. Now all we gotta do is try it out on the runway.
Yep, after 4 days of intense endeavor,
This is awesome.
They now have the closest thing possible to a plane.
This is definitely something you don't see every day.
So with their no-fly zone established, it's game on for this myth. The MythBusters are at the end of their rope, testing if you can bob for an apple on a bungee cord.
So now we've got our height and our weight dialed in to where our heads are penetrating the water just a few inches. And we've also nailed the accuracy. So now it's time to bring in the hard part, which is biting onto one of these, or more accurately, one of these, because this might break your teeth or your nose. We don't know yet. So these foam ones, we'll see how we do with those first. So what do you think? You ready to go for an apple?
I'll be quite honest with you. I don't need to stand on the ceremony to tell you that is pretty much the most unpleasant thing I have ever done. You want to take this one home?
I thought I was off the hook, but hey, you know, if you really don't want to do it, I'm getting used to it. I'll deal with it.
Thank you, sir.
Jamie's taking this one for the team.
Target's in place, our Heineman's getting himself rigged up, and all we need to do is fill our barrel with some apples.
But wrapping his jaws around an apple in the blink of an eye isn't going to be easy.
Getting this done at this point is all about finesse. It's all going to come down to an inch or two of depth and placement of my head relative to those apples. I'm hoping that I can just get right there where I'm just kissing those apples rather than impacting them and having them rocket away from me.
How you feeling?
Horrible.
Even now, Jamie still hates the bungee. And this time, he's got to pick up an apple for the ride.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, so close.
Close, but no apple. So the Heineman braces for yet another jump.
3, 2, 1.
What did I get myself into? I didn't hit the target. I'm not sure whether that was me or the lineup. Even a little gust of wind is enough to push you off. I don't have a whole lot of choice. Either I'm going right into the ring or I'm not.
So Jamie missed the target, but not in a direction we expected. And he missed it because of that flag. No, not because of politics or anything, because of the wind that is blowing that flag blew him slightly off target.
Thanks to the wind, targeting Jamie's jump is nowhere near as reliable as earlier. And that's making this myth look more and more like just that, a myth.
3, 2, 1.
Where's your apple? There's no apple in your face.
I bit something and I pulled it up.
No? Apparently it was water.
I bit the ring.
Oh, you bit the ring.
Yep, they don't call it apple bobbing for no reason. All of the apples bobbed out of the path of Jamie's jaws, so he bit down on the only thing not moving.
I was like, I'm not leaving here without something. I'm biting down on something, and I did.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. The title of this is We Almost Caught a Heineman.
So after a day of jump after jump after jump, Jamie's ready to call it.
Every time I tried, it was like the stress equivalent of having an automobile crash. And I was desperate to get that apple, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. I'm gonna call it busted.
Busted, but it's not the end of the line for this myth yet. Can a bit of MythBusters' ingenuity finally grab some forbidden fruit? At the Alameda runway, the MythBusters are finally cleared to fly. So it's game faces on as our two best tennis players serve up some science.
Now, in the video, you see the two tennis players rally about 20 times back and forth. But for us, we're only gonna try to do 5 because we figure 5 is enough. That's gonna prove the concept. So that's the magic number. If we can get 5, we can confirm this myth. Starting to get a little nervous.
But 15 feet up on a wing, traveling at 35 miles per hour down a runway, is a precarious place to be.
Okay, so while we're up here on the wing at 35 miles per hour, there's a lot to think about. We're dealing with a massive headwind. The wing's gonna be vibrating and flexing, and we've got to keep our balance, and we've got to play tennis, all without moving our feet. It's gonna be a lot.
And for that reason, they won't just be harnessed to the wing, they'll be tethered to it as well.
All right, make sure you get this right.
Let's do this.
Then it's over to Captain Byron for takeoff.
Okay, here we go.
Woohoo! This is scary. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a little scary, yeah.
Remember, this is the first time the boys have set foot on the wing, and a fall could spell disaster. But as Carrie accelerates, the guys slowly get their air legs.
Just getting the racket to, like, swing is difficult.
With the airspeed reached,
35, holding here.
it's go time. And almost immediately, it's clear that rallying up here is a whole different ballgame. The wind, coupled with the bounce and the danger, is making this a lot harder than their earlier fan test.
I don't know if we returned one ball to each other.
I think we did one.
Okay, we need to get at least 5 in order for this to be confirmed.
All right, well, seeing as this is the first time we've ever tried this, I think 1 out of 1,000 is okay. We're gonna do better this time.
You ready?
Ready?
The second time around, it's silence on the court as Tori and Grant concentrate hard on hitting the ball. But after 5 minutes at 35 miles per hour, their longest rally is just 2 hits.
I felt like we were getting close there.
All right, let's just go for it again and see if we can make this happen.
All right, ready?
So as they take off down the runway at 35 miles per hour, they grit their teeth for one final swing at the myth. But it seems it's still more miss than hit.
We're still pretty off from making this confirmed or busted.
Hi. How was it?
Yeah, you know what? I give up. I mean, the guys in this video were world-class tennis experts. I've had 1 lesson.
That was really hard. The ball does such crazy things. It's hard to swing your racket, but I think it is possible. And bear in mind, the guy who is in the commercial, Novak Djokovic, is one of the top-rated players, if not the top-rated player in the world. I'm not him, unfortunately, but I think we need somebody better than me.
So to give this myth a fighting chance, they're swapping rookie Imahara for tennis pro Tyler Brown.
Now, Tori's a pretty good tennis player, but Tyler's a pro, so hopefully this will up our tennis game. We're gonna throw them both back up onto the wing and try this test again.
Did you ever think in your wildest that tennis would lead you to this?
Not in my lifetime.
35!
Oh, that was 4.
From the start, Tyler and Tori are consistently returning the ball.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah!
7! We did it! You did it!
And after just 4 minutes at wind speeds of over 40 miles an hour, Tori and pro Tyler are confirming this myth all over the place.
Yeah! Woo! Look!
That was great!
confirm this. I mean, even in the strongest winds, we were still able to keep the rally going.
Yeah, on your best rally, I counted 12.
Yeah, we got into this rhythm, and it was just like bam, bam, bam. I think it's confirmed.
I think it's confirmed.
Well, there's one more thing I want to do. Now that you proved you can do it at this distance, I think we need to extend you out further onto the wing and look a little more like the video.
That sounds terrifying, but I think we should go for it.
Yeah!
In my opinion, I think we've confirmed this one. We showed that it's possible to keep a volley going even in the strongest of winds. I mean, we were able to hit more than 5 times. But for all you naysayers out there, we're gonna spread out the players even more. This time we're gonna go to the far ends of the wings and see if we can keep the rally going.
This crazy commercial caper is busted. But now, what the MythBusters want to know is, could you bungee bob with an Apple apparatus?
So we've got to build a machine that can be strapped to the head that can catch an apple.
What about using something like a face shield or a welding helmet? You know, those things have that ratchet that really grab onto your head nice and snug.
That's perfect. There we go. My first thought is something like a bear trap, something like a pair of jaws with a spring load and a catch. Touch an apple and it grabs onto it.
I'd want to have it actually work off of my own mouth. We want this to be able to open quite a bit further than I can open my mouth.
Right, so we'll need to have a little bit of a mechanical advantage.
Yes.
If you're gonna have it work off of your jaw, we're gonna have to move a point here down.
The plan is to create a mechanical jaw that Jamie operates by opening his own mouth.
There you go. Okay, that movement looks good. That looks really good, and that looks like that's our nodal point right there.
Okay.
Tell you what, do you want to start working on the chin strap, and I'll start working on a set of teeth?
Okay.
So the guys divide to conquer. Jamie takes on the chin, while Adam gives their jaw teeth.
Yes. That looks like it'll grab an apple. Let's go see Jamie.
And now to put it all together for the ultimate Robo Gob.
This is insane.
This is totally insane.
Now, let me see.
Go ahead, put it on. Let's try it out.
Their device has got a bigger mouth than Jamie and even Adam. But will it work upside down and underwater?
That's not bad.
Cool. Well, let's fill the tub and put some apples in it.
Go ahead.
To test it, the guys have rigged up a down-home apple bobbing bungee.
Okay, man. 3, 2, 1, go. 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 3, 2, 1, go. Hey! He did it!
Okay, now let me down.
Beautiful. Let him down.
That is possible.
There he goes.
That's their first successful bob so far, and it's clear that their device has the kind of jaws that this stunt needs.
Now we have a proof of concept that the maw that Jamie and I built actually works on Jamie's face. So he, being the trooper that he is, and it helps that he's 106, is going to go back out there, drop from the bungee, and try and catch that apple.
At Alameda, Tori and Tyler are spreading their wings.
So far, to my surprise, this myth is going really, really well. I mean, we got the plane, we got the proper wind speed, we've got the boys actually having a really good rally up on the wing because Tori's upped his game with a pro.
Yeah! Get it!
Now, before you criticize the fact that they're a little too close together and it doesn't look entirely like the video, we're going to address that. We're pushing them out to the outer edges.
Now that's gonna pose a problem. Not so much the distance. I mean, when Tyler and I were playing at that distance on the ground, we were able to keep the rally going. But now that we're out at the edges of the wing, we're gonna feel a lot more of the bouncing as the truck's driving down the road. That's gonna affect how we play. Not only that, now that the distance is greater, that gives more time for the wind to affect the direction of the ball. So I'm hoping that we're able to get into a groove again and keep the rally going.
Sorry, there's no
At
ladder.
32 feet apart, Tori and Tyler will be more exposed.
It's a little bouncier this time, that's for sure.
So can they still rally in wind speeds of 35 miles per hour as the wing flexes and bounces beneath them?
Tyler, you ready? Yep. Wait, why did you shake your head when you said yes?
Because I'm scared. Attention passengers, this is your co-pilot speaking. Captain Byron has informed us that you're about to experience some mild turbulence. Please return to your seats and keep your seat belts on. Thank you.
Once again, Captain Byron slowly accelerates the truck.
25, 30, 35.
But way out on the wing, for Tori and Tyler, every crack in the tarmac is magnified.
There's a lot more bounce the further out that we are. That's causing us to panic when there's a huge bump and we're like, forget the ball, I'm not gonna die. Not only that, the wind is starting to pick up, which is making it a lot more difficult to place the ball. I'm noticing that I'm having to hit a lot further into the wind, and so that way it will blow back into the other player.
Attempt 1 didn't result in a 5-hit rally, but for attempt 2, they're switching ends.
We just need to hit it 5 times.
This time, Tyler is hitting into the wind.
35 miles per hour.
We were close. We were like 4. We just need to get 1 more. Yeah! We did it! Woo!
15 feet from the ground, traveling at over 35 miles an hour, at a distance of 32 feet, Tori and Tyler incredibly confirm the myth.
I can't believe it!
Dude, we had a complete rally!
They may have used CG, but it is possible to do in real life.
Yeah, I have my doubts, but we did prove that it's possible.
Wow, how often does that happen? The internet was true. This is life imitating art. I cannot believe this actually worked. I mean, how often does it happen that we find some crazy CGI internet video and we can replicate it in reality? I mean, they would have saved some money if they jumped off on an airplane and actually played tennis.
That was so much fun, but I was so worried that we were not going to be able to pull this off. We kept trying and trying, could not get the volley going, but finally, we were able to get it. And the best part is, we've confirmed this myth. I mean, none of us thought this was possible when we started, but we showed that you can actually play tennis on the wing of a plane. I can't believe this. This is crazy. Prepare for takeoff, everyone.
This might be a less exciting ride. It'll be a lot more comfortable.
Hello. We have been bobbing for apples from the end of a bungee cord. And so far, we've determined that bungee jumping is a process that can be made precise enough to hit both a perfect and safe depth and a perfect XY coordinate like a barrel. But we have been unsuccessful in catching an apple with our teeth from said barrels. So, Jamie and I have built a mechanical mouth, which we have bolted to Jamie's head, and any minute now, he is going to make the final leap and attempt to catch an apple in his quote-unquote teeth.
Yep, the unassisted apple bob is busted. But can the Heineman, now half man, half machine, snatch the apple from the jaws of defeat?
I gotta say, I'm not looking forward to this. Even after doing that jump a half dozen times, I'm like dreading it. I mean, it's over in just a fraction of a second, but it's just awful.
I think they have a lot simpler rigs for taking the top of your head off in surgery.
On top of that, I have to wear this thing, which is not unlike some sort of torture device. And then if I don't get it the first time, I'm gonna have to just keep doing it until I get it.
Yep, there's only one way to test their apple bobbing jaws. And unfortunately for Jamie, that way is down.
Man, this is awful.
All right, Jamie, whenever you're ready, let's make apple bobbing history.
Okay, you got me?
I got you. Leaning out.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
A new day means the cord has to warm up. And that, along with the wind, is not good news for the Heinemann.
So I wasn't in line and I didn't quite reach, right?
Yep, and if you cycle quickly, you should reach, and they're going to move the target slightly to where you were actually landing because the wind's picked up.
I want to go home.
Jamie's first attempt at bobbing for apples with the mechanical mouth didn't work. It wasn't a failure. The bungee cords didn't go long enough. Cycling quickly should take care of that. And the target was a little off because the wind has picked up. So we're going to move it about 18 inches that way. And hopefully this is the last dive he has to ever do. Ever.
Well, I think we can safely say that Jamie hopes that too.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've got to get it on this one or that's it. I've had enough. It's all too weird. The tension is building. It's starting to get to me.
Jamie's fear of heights is trumping the desire to replicate the circumstances. So this will be his final bite of the apple.
All right, Jamie, whenever you're ready.
The wind has gusted.
You got a strong east wind right now at the flag.
What do you think?
I think we can get this done.
Okay.
I'm going to have you lean out, and we're going to go for it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was an epic attempt. And when you play it in real time, Jamie had hardly a second to operate the jaws.
Well, he got something. Jamie's got a taste for that ring, and he's never letting go. How you feeling, Captain?
In theory, this thing could grab an apple, but how many times am I going to have to do it to get it right? And I'm up there, and it's just all too weird. You know what it is? I mean, look at me.
I know.
And
as if it's not
there.
bad enough you've got this strapped to your head.
Oh, what's happening? Let me out of here.
That's it. We're calling it. Bobbing for apples is busted. Bobbing the what would it take rig on your head.
Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? I'm going home.
We're done. In a final analysis, Jamie performed like a champion. He made the dive. He made many, many, many dives. He hit the target perfectly, except the wind had twisted him around, and instead of an apple, he got a ring. But we are calling it there. We have found the Heinemann's limit. We've found the Savage's limit. It would have been your limit, too. This myth is totally busted. You cannot bob for apples from the end of a bungee cord. Well, that's it. You got anything clever to say for the walk off into the sunset? Nice. Goodbye.